broken the 4-figure mark, no doubt about that. Definitely over 1,000. It's whether we have got a couple of thousand in attendance here at Säbener Straße. Church bells ringing in the background as well just a moment ago. Just down the road at Wettersteinplatz. Now we see the drill in action. Franz Retzig. Well, finding the bottom corner. Tidy finish. But again, it is about that work in tight spaces. Receive the ball, move yourself beyond the marker. Get yourself in a goal-scoring position. The yellow dummy doing the defending as Thomas Tuchel watches on from the base of that post. Tell you as well that while this training session has been going on, sporting director Christoph Freund has been involved in a German television appearance where he's been answering questions as well on yesterday's defeat, talking about the fact that it's a big disappointment, that there's no real clear explanation, but the fact that he pointed out they didn't really bring the energy onto the pitch, the players, despite the fact that they had no game for almost 2 weeks. Also highlighted the fact that the bad start did not make things any easier, but ultimately that for a club like Bayern, there is no defence for a performance like that. And he said that for him it was an attitude problem, not a quality problem. Said he can't take anything away from Frankfurt because they executed their game plan really well. And again, he talks about actually what Thomas Tuchel talked about at half-time, saying that the message at half-time was to get an early goal and make it 3-2. And I tell you what, if they had done that, it could have been such a different game. And they took the risk. Tuchel made 2 changes at half-time. Mazraoui went off, Davies went off, on came Guerrero and Lima. The difficulty was they took a big risk and they were made to be punished for it because early in the second half, Bayern were creating all the pressure, and it invited Guerrero and Lima to push up from the back. And what they were doing was they were playing as inverted wingers. That's not a foreign concept. Oh, excuse me, inverted wingbacks. That's not a foreign concept here at Bayern because Julian Nagelsmann brought it in when he was on the books, especially with Davies, because you would see ultimately when Pavard was playing at right back, he would shift in as another centre-back alongside Upamecano or whoever else was at the heart of defence. It would then allow Davies to really go maraud forward down that left wing, but you wouldn't just see him get chalk on his heels on the wing. He would drift infield as well into that inside left channel, and that was what Lima did from the right yesterday after coming off the bench, and that's what Guerrero did from the left. The problem is they both did it at the same time. Bayern overcommitted, and then they got caught on the counter, and any hopes of them then staging that comeback and building on the lifeline that Joshua Kimmich's goal had given them dissipated, unfortunately. Oh, dear me. Well, it's the type of effort that I'd produce on the training pitch, I'll be honest. So I can't really criticise it too much. Matthias Tell certainly playing with great intensity here in training. Sven Ulreich and Daniel Peretz keeping themselves sharp. Sven Ulreich, of course, who signed a contract extension recently, got lost in amongst the snow chaos, and actually the fact that Neuer signed a contract extension at the same time as him, but both goalkeepers committing their futures to the club for an extra year. It was Manuel Neuer who said he's really been enjoying his work with Sven Ulreich, says that they have built a wall together at the back for Bayern. Manuel Neuer, though, back from that lengthy absence due to the broken leg he suffered almost a year ago. 350 days it took him to make his first appearance following that injury. I'd love to know what's going on in the mind of Thomas Tuchel. That perfectionist mind of his that I'm sure will have had several thoughts when it came to the defeat yesterday. Corbyn saying, I hope one day Bayern plays a match in Austria so that I can go watch. And I feel there was talk at one point recently of Bayern considering a trip down under. Well, the problem is it probably does have to come along with some sort of promotional work, because otherwise it's hard to convince them to take that long trip. We know that they do travel to Asia, as they did this summer. They went to Japan and Indonesia. Because they are aware that they have a global fan base and certainly try to cater to it. A couple of trips to the States in recent years as well. There will be no winter training camp in the Middle East, though, this time around, given the tragic events going on there still. And as a result, I think they'll look to work a little closer to home, Bayern, maybe during the winter break as well. They do have a friendly against Basel lined up, and a game against Hoffenheim as well. Tuchel saying that they will start their mid-season preparations again on January 2nd. And said that maybe they'll have another short training camp after the friendly against Hoffenheim. Just trying to think. I've been chatting away. I'm not sure I've seen Matthijs Tel score any of these situations. He's certainly got the intensity. Certainly trying to put his foot through the ball at all times. There have been some very nice finishes, though, it has to be said, from the players involved in this drill. Mutaz is asking whether Harry and Thomas Müller are around. They were around. And I think Thomas Müller must be around somewhere still, because he was one of the substitutes yesterday, so I'm surprised if he's gone in too early. Maybe he's doing a drill somewhere else on the training pitches right now. But they were out earlier, Mutaz and